Welcome back to the Graham Stephan Show. We've got some real estate drama that we got to talk about today with Kanye West and a $1 million lien against his Malibu mansion. Now, if you're wondering where I get this information, it's his channel. It's called Real Estate Report. I absolutely love it. I've covered one of his videos before in the past. I would highly recommend, by the way, subscribing to him. I'll link to him down below in the description because I get a lot of my real estate, like inside information. I prefer to watch from him on YouTube than read it anywhere else. So his link is down below in the description. But with that said, I want to comment on his video as soon as you hit the like button and subscribe. That's it. Helps out the channel tremendously. Thank you so much. Now let's begin because this is very interesting.
Kanye West just got slapped with a $1 million lien on his Malibu mansion. This is going to throw a bit of a wrench in his ability to sell the place.
It got to the point where I told him, like, we're out of money. You need to send more money. We're completely out of money.
Jeez, okay. Yeah, I have a feeling there's got to be more to the story than this. I like to think that there are two sides to everything. With someone like Kanye West has so much money that him paying $1 million towards a contractor who performed work on the place, you would think for him it's a drop in the bucket. He could just, write a check and just be done with it. Like, it probably costs him more money to think about this than it would just for him just to pay the contractor. Usually, from what I've seen, when there's a lien on something, there tends to be a conflict between the two people. Maybe Kanye says, the contractor didn't do the work as performed, did insufficient work, didn't do a good job, I had to fix it, it was done poorly. And then the contractor says, no, I did the work and you gotta pay me, it doesn't matter. Usually you have a bit of a disagreement between the two, and they'll file a lien on the property and you have to go to mediation for that. So typically that's what I see. It's very rarely that someone of his stature would hire somebody and then just choose not to pay them. It's rare. But it does happen.
Kanye bought this house in September of 2021 for just over $57 million. He proceeded to completely gut the house. Presumably, he was going to do some remodeling, but all he ever did was demo work, and then he just left the house sitting there to rot. And here we are a couple years later. He has relisted the home for sale for $53 million.
Here's the thing. When you have so much money like Kanye West, you buy these projects and you just forget about them. Like, I remember when I first started as a real estate agent, I saw so many properties like this where they bought it in like 2007, 2008, and it was empty for years. They just bought it and forgot about it. It's wild. And I never understood it. I'm like, why would you leave a $10 million house just empty? Why would you not live there at all for years? Why would you even want to keep it? And some of these properties, by the way, they just leave it. No joke, they don't even have a gardener come and trim the grass. And you have multi-million-dollar properties that people just leave. And I've realized a lot of them are owned by people who just travel a lot. Many of them are international. Some people just have more money and they just buy a property. They don't think of it. For them, it's like buying a pair of shoes. For Kanye, it could be like, oh yeah, I bought, that iPhone. I just haven't used it in a while. I don't know, whatever. So sometimes you just get busy, but this is just on a different level. Like, imagine that you buy, some slippers. You're just like, oh yeah, I bought the slippers for $20. I forgot to wear them. That's the equivalent that Kanye West has when he buys a $50 million house.
This whole situation has made major headlines, but it wasn't exactly a huge shocker considering that Kanye hasn't had the best of luck with his real estate deals over his lifetime. Plus, he's just generally kind of always wound up in drama. He's been banned from Twitter and from Instagram for saying crazy stuff on his accounts.
Sometimes I think better just keep your mouth shut. But that's not Kanye. The thing with Kanye that I think a lot of people could appreciate is he just says what's on his mind. There's no filter. It's just like mind and then it's out the mouth, for better or worse. And I think some people see that as, that's gotta be totally freeing, not to have to censor yourself, to say whatever you wanna say. You get backlash and you double down on it. He's just unapologetically himself. It's going to get him in trouble. So there's a cost to that. And you have to be willing to bear the cost to be able to say whatever is on your mind at any point, regardless of how it might sound. And he paid the price for that.
Just a couple of weeks ago, the Daily Mail uncovered that he actually owes over $1 million in back property and business taxes. The guy is still worth around $400 million as of the last report, so he's probably going to be okay. Not really sure why he's not paying his property or his business taxes.
My guess is he just forgot. When you own that many properties, it's inevitable one is going to fall to the wayside, you're going to forget. At that level, I would guess he would hire a manager who like oversees everything and just makes sure it get paid. But imagine you don't have the manager. Imagine he's doing this himself. He's like, oh, I forgot I own that property. I forgot to pay property taxes. Jeez. I try to pay my property taxes at the end of each year, and sometimes I just forget. Oh man, I forgot I had property taxes were due, and I pay them in January instead of December. It sucks, but it's just, the more you have going on, the more forgetful you become. That's the lesson here.
Not only was this house move-in ready, but it was also designed by Tadao Ando, who is a very, very respected Japanese architect. And for anybody who's not super into architecture, buying a Tadao Ando house and then demoing it is kind of like buying a Picasso painting and tearing it in half.
Man, I was about to say in the before pictures, it's a little sterile, but it's not something that can't be warmed up with like some nice colorful artwork. Maybe a few cool rugs in there, some nice modern white furniture throughout the house. Like he could easily make that just like an industrial compound in Malibu. It's like, yeah, it's a statement. Not everyone's cup of tea, but you could make that very cool.
We have Kanye, who owns a house that's worth around $53 million. And then we have a contractor who claims he's owed $1 million, so he put a $1 million mechanics lien on Kanye's property. This means that if Kanye does sell this house, the $1 million payment would go to Tony before Kanye gets to pocket the rest of the money.
Yeah, my thought is that if Kanye disagrees with this, he's going to contest the lien. He's going to find some way to get this knocked down, or maybe settle it and say, hey, for $1 million, I'm going to pay you 50 grand, 100 grand. And then it's like, do you really want to fight with Kanye on this? Because Kanye seems like the type where he could just be vengeful and say, well, you know what? If you don't take 50 grand now, I'm just never going to sell the house. And I don't care. And so what do? It's terrible to be in that situation.
Tony claims that he was forced to work 16 hours a day and sleep on the floor near open insulation. It just seems weird to me that a contractor would say that the owner literally forced them to work these long days and to sleep on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could think of is that maybe Kanye says, I need this done in 30 days. That's the budget. Do you want to take the job or not? And the guy's like, all right, fine, I'll take the job. And that requires him to be there 16 hours a day. It sounds like also that maybe there's some security issues, and the guy is sleeping at the property to make sure items don't get stolen. Because I'll tell you, from my experience, it's hard enough just to get a contractor to show up on time. That's rare. The contractors that do show up on time charge like 50% more because they're like, yeah, I'm going to show up on time. I'm actually going to get it done when I say I'm going to get it done, which is such a rarity. But then you also have times where you have an active construction site. People see that. People will be coming in and out, and it's very easy for someone to say, hey, got an active construction site here. There's all this equipment. They just delivered the floorboards. Let's go in and take it. And what do you do? So having someone there at a property like that probably prevents some loss.
If you don't do what I say, you're not going to work for me. I'm not going to be your friend anymore, and you'll just see me on TV. If Tony has proof of this dialogue happening, then I guess that he kind of has a case that Kanye was abusive to him.
Yeah, where's the proof of that? I mean, that's the thing. The proof has to be usually in writing or over a video. The he said, she said, I mean, they can make the claims, then Kanye could counterclaim and say, no, I never said that. Show me the proof. And if you don't have proof, I take a lot of this stuff, unless there's something that you see directly with context, I don't believe it.
We had John, who said that he feels really sorry for the home's adjacent neighbors just because of all the noise. Great point. This is an expensive neighborhood. It'd be pretty annoying to live right next door to this house and deal with not only all of the construction noise, but also just all of the negative press.
I will tell you, by the way, a lot of these houses are empty most of the time. It's crazy. These beach houses, people have so much money because it's so expensive that the type of person who owns a house like this probably owns 5 other properties. They're traveling around the world. They're probably only here in the summer for 3 months of the year. A lot of them rent it out on off-peak seasons. Sure, you have some people who live there full-time. From my experience, just meeting some of these people, a lot of them go empty. Very long period of time.
Surf Stark said that he doesn't understand how a home like this can sell for $50+ million when you can reach out your window and touch your neighbor's house.
Okay, so the reason why is because you're not on PCH. So the way a lot of Malibu works, most of the houses are off PCH, which is Pacific Coast Highway. It's a very busy highway. And Carbon Beach is a prime example of this. Carbon Beach is the most expensive area in Malibu because you have these large lot sizes with a whole bunch of sand. Some other parts of Malibu are basically the property with stilts and then water underneath. That's less desirable because you don't actually have beach, you just have water below you and it's less desirable. So Carbon Beach has a long big stretch of sand and then the water. Very valuable, but it's on PCH. Now, Malibu Road also gets a lot of sand, not as much as Carbon Beach, smaller lot sizes, but it's not on PCH, which means you don't have a busy street right next to you when you're going and pulling in your house. You're basically on a freeway if you're on PCH. So that's where a lot of the value of this. So if you want to be in Malibu on the beach, it's either Carbon Beach, which, good luck getting in under $80 million, or you could pay $50 million, be a little further away, but not on PCH.
Quite a few people mentioned that Kanye might be purposely trying to take a loss on this sale for tax reasons. Reasonable theory, and could make sense if this was an investment property.
Yeah, it's so stupid to say, oh, you just do it for the tax write-off. You'd still make more money just not taking a loss on it. Like, I don't get that. Like, him taking a $10 million loss, he'd be better off just not taking the $10 million loss, just to, write it off on taxes. Just assume in his tax bracket, 37%. That's all he's saving, 37%. So it doesn't make sense to take a $10 million loss to save $3.7 million off his income. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Tony says all he tried to do was be someone in Kanye's life who cared about him, not trying to just be a yes man. Then last, he says he celebrated this lawsuit by buying himself a Korg, which I guess is the best vintage keyboard that you can get. Thunderbird.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd celebrate before actually getting the money though. I'm always a believer that you're going to jinx things if you count your chickens before they hatch. So I would celebrate and get that keyboard when he actually gets money from that lien.
I guess Kanye is already firing back at the lawsuit, saying that it needs to be thrown out, and his claim is that his ex-employee Tony was fired fair and square and that he was paid in full. Tony said he was promised that his pay rate for this job would be $20,000 per week.
Yeah, but he's also providing around-the-clock security. I mean, yeah, $20,000 a week is intense, but it's like, yeah, contractor, coordinating workers, working on the property himself, and security. So it's like you're getting 4 people for one, in a way. You could look at it that way.
If you're wondering where Kanye lives now, considering he has an abandoned Malibu mansion, according to The Sun, he's got a lavish penthouse apartment in West Hollywood that he lives at and pays $20,000 a month for.
I guarantee he's probably only there like 1 day a month. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much. Make sure, by the way, if you enjoyed this video, go and subscribe to Scott's channel down below in the description. It'll be the first link. He puts in a lot of work on real estate topics, interesting stuff like this, different projects. I really recommend it. So again, his link is down below in the description. Thank you so much. And also, don't forget that you could get some free fractional shares with an affiliate link down below in the description when you sign up and make a deposit. I get a commission, of course, when you sign up for that, but those free stocks could be worth all the way up to a few grand. So, enjoy. It'll take you maybe 10 minutes to do. Let me know what stocks you get. Thank you so much, and until next time.